The station cathedral stood on a vast slab of slate-grey stone, floating through empty dawning space. A Babylonian construction of bewildering proportions, far from being completed as was apparent by the complex scaffolding supporting it in many places. Light streamed and glimmered through an intricate lacework of gaps in the walls. In the main reception hall, heaving grey masses of people moved to and fro, streaming and shoving past each other in rivers, lugging baggage, shouting, gesticulating, and entangling themselves in each other. All of them were dressed in filthy rags, rabble, riffraff beggars with deeply sunken eyes covered in scabs, degenerate and depraved. But the baskets, suitcases and bags that they carried were overflowing with loose banknotes and stacked bundles of money. At the furthest edge of one of the platforms stood a fireman, watching the scene with a perplexed expression. 12,903, droned the loudspeaker in the main hall. 12,902, 12,901. The station hall was enormous, its ceiling lost in darkness somewhere overhead. In every possible niche and crack, flickering candles clung. Everywhere running, dripping wax cascades like icicles, congealed beards of wax. The altar was shaped into an almighty vault with 5 huge dials on the door. From time to time the vault was opened and another avalanche of bundled banknotes poured forth. The bundles were distributed amongst the miserable characters in the front rows, and the vault doors sealed close once more. The ritual then immediately began anew. Henchmen on long ladders clambered with inexhaustible agility to and fro, depositing fresh stacks of money somewhere high above in the walls. The fireman belatedly realized that every wall, every pillar, was formed of towering piles of money. The entire cathedral was made of compact bricks of paper banknotes, and infinitely higher it continued to be built as every new opening of the vault spewed new masses of money into the space. Thousands upon thousands of candle flames burned and danced, and the candle wax ran and dripped. "Good Lord," he murmured, "this violates every conceivable safety regulation. This will end in disaster." A weaselly-looking fellow approached the fireman. "Do you want shares? Get them while you can. These are the last of the shares in the cathedral. They're all free." "No, thank you," answered the fireman and waved him away. "This is all going to come to a terrible end. You are mistaken, came the reply. So many respectable people couldn't possibly be wrong. This miraculous currency propagation will go on forever. It will never end, as long as we all continue to believe. "3,314, intoned the loudspeaker. 3,313, 3,312. And softly, but unmistakably, a ticking could be heard beneath the disembodied voice calling the numbers. It became louder and more threatening, while on the other side of the altar, the miraculous multiplication of money went on unimpaired. Nobody in the wretched crowd seemed to pay any attention to the ticking. Ensconced in the pulpit to the left of the altar, an emaciated old man began to preach with broadly encompassing gestures. Mystery of all mysteries, and blessed be he who takes part. Money is truth, and the only truth. Thou shalt all believe in its power. Thine faith shall be unbreakable and blind. For it is this faith which makes it what it is, since truth is also a commodity which obeys the law of supply and demand. For our God is a jealous God, and tolerates no other false gods, and yet he gave himself unto us, and turned himself into a commodity in our hands, so that we might own him forevermore and receive his holy blessing. "268, echoed the loudspeaker. 267, 266. The fireman fought his way forwards through the rabble. Everywhere where he found burning candles within his reach, he extinguished them. Astonished, distressed, and furious stares followed him. He ignored them He continued in his mission, although he knew it was futile, since no sooner had he moved on than the flames were rekindled behind him. A dull rage gradually began to take hold of him. "Stop it!" he cried, and climbed the stairs to the pulpit. "Cease! Stop this! Right now! You are hereby informed that these activities are strictly prohibited." A deadly silence fell instantly over the great hall. "An unbeliever!" shouted one of the scoundrels near the altar. "How did an unbeliever get in here?" A monstrous tumult broke loose. Crazed, limping beggars stormed the pulpit, hands grabbing at the fireman, choked him, beat him, threw him over the balustrade of the raised pulpit. He fell with a thud to the floor below. Sticks and crutches rained down upon him as feet trampled his broken body. The loudspeaker voice had begun to count without interruption. The ticking hammered. 10. "Money masters everything," called the preacher. 9. "It binds us to one another through the sacred rituals of give and take." 8. "It has the power to transform. It transforms spirit into matter and matter into faith." 7. "Where all enrich each other, there will be riches for all." 6. "And where all become rich at the cost of others, there will be no one left to pay the price." 5. Miracle of all miracles. And should you ask, my dear believers, where does all this wealth come from? I will tell you. 3. It comes from its own very own future profit. 2. For we are all believers, our own creditors and debtors unto eternity. And we forgive ourselves our debts. Amen.